Hello and welcome back to MFAC Coaching. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much. Today I'm going to do a plan with me with these wonderful stickers from Jojo.Apple.Prints, and I'm going to do 2 monthly spreads, which I haven't done for a while I talk a little bit about anxiety and how this, the process of planning helps me. So hopefully that interests you, and I encourage you to stick around. All right, so these are the stickers that I'm planning to use for August. These are Jojo.Apple.Prints, and what you'll find is I have actually done every month in this planner. This is my teacher planner in stickers from Jojo.Apple.Prints. These are her monthly sets. I am just truly loving them. So the next set for August is a camping set. And then for September is this adorable fall apple picking set. So I just have to figure out how I want to do this. I tend to start by placing the numbers. You can tell that I had some things that I had to mark down ahead of time, so wasn't able to wait till I had the numbers down to put these on here, but that's okay. And then I'll have to decide if I just want to use these here at the top. I usually decide that I do. I just find them so much fun. So the nice thing about monthlies, at least in this sense, is that some of it's kind of set for you. And then I can also decide, because there are certain things that are already done. Now, granted, all these days have passed because this video will drop on the 21st. I'm recording it on the 19th. But I just have to decide if I want to use this, to cover a day and rewrite that information or not. And in September, same type of deal. So monthly spreads are something that I've always had a little bit of trouble with. I don't really know why. I think sometimes I forget to do them early, so that's always trouble. And then sometimes I just never know exactly, I'm always afraid I'm going to put things where I need to write, and I don't know. But I mention this because in some ways, monthlies cause me anxiety. I'm talking about anxiety today because that is the emotion that I am talking about in my Patreon group. And I'm finding it to be a subject that truly a lot of people can relate to. So it turns out there's a lot of us who experience anxiety in different ways at different times. And for those who don't know, my Patreon group, the way it works is I take one emotion and I talk about it from 7 different perspectives. So there are 7 different perspectives in modern psychology. As you can imagine, it is difficult to define all of what it means to be human, all of humanness, in just one perspective, even though in one sense psychology is the large overall arching umbrella, but there are lots of reasons why people might experience something. We've got our biology or our genetics that lead to us to experience things in a particular way, and then of course we have our experiences that lead us to experience things in a particular way. So that would be 2 big umbrellas. And so every emotion I break down in 7 different ways so that you can see which way seems to kind of sit well with you. And once you know how or why you experience something in a particular way, that can oftentimes help you decide what your solution needs to be. So in the field of psychology, if we know that something is caused due to biological reasons, then of course we're going to look into more of a pill, for instance, to help you. So if you have figured out that your anxiety seems to stem from something physical happening with you, then you can know that maybe what you need is a pill for your anxiety. But if you have decided that your anxiety comes from more social reasons, being around other people, then the solution might need to be somewhat different. And so in my Patreon group, we will talk about anxiety. Well, for some reason, my camera decided to shut off. I do not know why, and I did kind of know, go back and try to figure out when, but not a lot I can do about that. I didn't listen to the whole thing. So, I really just hate it when that happens. This is the second time that's happened fairly recently. I don't know why my phone has decided that that is appropriate, because it is not. But, makes me so frustrated. All right. But I just have no idea what I've said and what I haven't. So sorry about that. So I'll just go on to my next topic. If you're interested in anxiety and the 7 different perspectives, check out my Patreon group. But the next topic I thought I would talk about is still anxiety. So I thought I would talk about the fact that one of the ways that I manage my anxiety is through planning. I feel more put together. I feel more like I know what's happening in my life when I have my plans, when I've really looked at everything and tried to make sure that everything's going to get done and kind of planned it all out. And then, there are some weeks where I don't do that planning, and that's okay. Some weeks I don't need it. Some weeks it sits in my head and I don't forget it and everything is fine. But other weeks, that is just not how it's going to work. And so being able to do some planning really eases my anxiety. And one of the reasons that I do decorative planning is that it actually encourages me to do the plans. Otherwise I may not do them. And then I'm more likely to be anxious. So it's kind of that, I don't know, it's just the thing that I figured out is that if I decorate my planner, I'm more likely to use it. If I'm more likely to use it, I'm more likely to feel better in my day. And obviously, things that make me feel better about my day, that's just a benefit. So I really, it just makes sense for me to. Oh, yep, that is true. I was thinking that was the wrong date, but it was not. It was the right one. It just makes sense for me to decorative plan. And I just have to make sure. So there's a couple things that I have to, with my anxiety, have to watch out for. One is that I don't confuse the decorating or the not decorating, more likely, with a problem. Or with like, oh no, I can't plan because I didn't use my planner. I didn't decorate it, because that is not true. Oh. There we go. I have to allow for variability. I'm going to move the camera here just to help myself here. There we go. Yeah, so I have to allow for some weeks to be different, for it to be okay if I didn't decorate, for me to still use the planner. And of course, for those times when I did decorate but I don't use the planner, that needs to be okay too. So I just have to work kind of hard to ensure that I don't create more anxiety for myself through the planner and through like, oh no, I didn't decorative plan, so now I can't use my planner, or that type of thing, because that is just simply not beneficial. Oh my gosh, it's just so cute. So now I have to decide if I think that's enough or if I want a few like s'mores on different days. It's so hard for me not to just want to use every single sticker because they're just so cute. Look at these little ants. Just so tiny. And let me tell you, ants are much cuter in sticker form than they are in real life. But in sticker form, they're adorable and I love them. In real life, I could do without them. So, I just want to talk about the way in which I kind of manage my anxiety. Because it's one thing to say, oh, like I just have to notice when I'm telling myself I can't use my planner, those types of things. But noticing is only the first step. All right, I think I'm going to call that done. I think it is super cute. I'll go ahead and write those things back on here. End of classes. Oh yeah, the end of some classes, the end of other classes, payday, and then the start of classes. All right, let's go to September. All right, and now we're getting into fall, although I have to tell you that it won't feel like fall in my life. I'm in San Diego. September is still a very hot month, but I still like decorating as though it's not. So look how cute these apples are. Like they're not just, I love that she does this where it's like, yes, it's all an apple and you can see, but they're like, each one's also just enough of difference for you to not feel like the entire page is all the same. I just think it's so clever. All right, so when it comes to managing my anxiety, it isn't, of course, enough for me just to notice that I was telling myself that I can't use my planner because I didn't decorate it, or which that one's a big one for me. Because I'm always like, well, maybe I can decorate it tomorrow. But like, if I need the plans now, I really need to not wait. I need to just use the planner. And it's not enough for me to be like, oh no, I decorated the planner, but I didn't use it. Isn't that a waste? Though that one bothers me a little less because you can always, there's a lot of different ways to redate a planner or redate a spread. And so if I made a spread but didn't use it lots of times I'll just use it the next week and give myself a week off from the planning, or from the decorating, I should say. But then, like, you know, then I miss out on the decorating, and a lot of the decorating is where I just sit and relax and watch a show or listen to a book, and that's that's my me time. And so I while it's fine that I didn't use a spread in a week, and sometimes it's still better for me to just go ahead and do the decorating. And at that time, I really wish I had more monthlies to plan, because that would be a good time to plan monthlies. Anyway, that was just an idea that like literally came to me as I was talking to you. That maybe the few times, like if I have in the future, I can't talk. In the future, if there is ever a week where I have all the plans, but I don't, like all the decoration, all the spreads are done. Wow, am I tempted to turn this off? Okay. All the spreads are done and I didn't use them, and it's the following week, and I should be, creating more spreads for that next week to plan in. If I still want to take the me time and take that decorative time, that's great. And what I can do is look ahead at monthlies, because monthlies, the nice thing is, like, it was great to do them ahead of time if you can, because then when you're writing stuff down, you already have things to write down. The difficult thing for me with monthlies, and what causes me anxiety, is like when I do them ahead of time, I don't know what I need. Like this tells me Labor Day, okay, that's going to be a day off, which is great. And it'll be a day off at all of my places because it's federal, which is great. But it just doesn't tell me a lot of other things. So, but anyway, the whole point is that now I've realized that I could do monthly plans. The 31 days in September? Oh, maybe not. No. She doesn't know. This isn't specific to September. It's my September. I'm using it for September. And I'm hoping I don't think I've missed any. So I think this is September, if you go by the fact that like she's been putting them out this year in this order. But she's going to give you all 31 days every month. Logic. Okay. But anxiety and like what to do. So if I catch myself saying that I can't do something because some aspect isn't completed, something isn't done, whether that is, the planning wasn't done or the decorating wasn't done ahead of time, it helps me to know what I'm going to do in that case. So I'm going to feel some anxiety, and that's okay. That anxiety is not in itself a bad thing. So how can I mitigate the feeling of the anxiety when I recognize that I have it? How can I allow myself to experience the anxiety while recognizing that it's okay to feel it? So like for me, it's like oftentimes like I feel something akin to guilt when I didn't either use the planner or didn't so when I didn't create a spread or when I didn't create a plan. And the question is always like, what am I going to do with that feeling? And how am I going to push through it? And for me, a lot of the times is acknowledging that I have the feeling, and that the feeling is appropriate, like that it's okay to feel that, is huge for me. I think because of the time in which I was raised, and also just my experiences in childhood, I was often made to feel, not by my family is amazing, but by some friends in my childhood as an only child, that I was too emotional. So I would, I was told things like I shouldn't smile as much as I did. It was kind of crazy and ridiculous, and I want to switch that up. Okay. Layering is one of those things, like, I love layering, but trying to decide ahead of time which way I'm going to layer things is just easier said than done. And if you don't know, this product is called Undo. It's a sticker remover that for decorative planners is amazing. It lifts up the sticker, or allows you really to lift up the sticker while keeping the stickiness intact. So you can reuse the sticker. And it's just amazing. So you have to give it a second to dry. But it doesn't like smear the page. It doesn't prevent anything from sticking to it later. Any of that. It does come off with a little chemical smell. But so if you're really sensitive to smells, that might be a problem for you. But if you're not, it's just a fabulous product. All right, there we go. Oh, look at the little ducks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry. So cute. It's like living on a little farm. It's Jojo.Apple Farm that was established in 2021. So cute. Okay, so there's noticing the feeling. And then there's allowing yourself for the feeling to be okay. That's a big one for me, at least. And then there's sorry, I'm just trying to decide where I want these little chickens to go. Oh, look at these little chickies have little babies, baby chicks. Okay. Sorry. This video, I feel like if you have ADD, you're following along, and if not, it might bother you. And for that, I definitely apologize. Okay, so, but step one, try to notice what you're feeling and allow that feeling to be okay. And then I do encourage you to, ahead of time, have a list of things that you can do to try to manage your anxiety. So what can you do to help yourself, in other words, be okay with the situation? Now, with planner and decorative planning, for the most part, I'm gonna guess you're gonna be okay, in the sense that you're not going to it's gonna be pretty easy to simply tell yourself that that whatever you did or didn't do is okay. You're not a bad person. You're not in trouble. And not a problem at all. But imagine, it's a good scenario to kind of like practice with, because it can be there are other scenarios, let's put it that way, where it might be harder to first day of autumn. It might be harder for you to really feel okay about not having done something, or not having done something. And so what can you do to ease that anxiety? And if you have that kind of plan ahead of time, it tends to be a little easier to do what you've planned. And so for me, it is a cognitive act. I tend to say, okay, a mistake happened. You are not a bad person, but what is better? Is it better for me to beat myself up because I didn't get something done at the specific time? Or is it better for me to go ahead and try again? Try to do it, like do it now, because I have time now versus later. And I decided I want to do it here. So in other words, what I do is weigh my options. I can sit with my guilt and continue to not do the thing that has made me feel guilty in the first place. Or I can say to myself, yep, you made a mistake, or life just didn't allow you to get done what you wanted, and now it's time to move forward from that. And obviously, we're going to move forward from that. It just makes a bit more sense. But I have to tell myself, okay, what we're going to do now is weigh the options. And that's just, I have to say that ahead of time so that I can remember when I'm feeling really anxious, what is it that I can do to help that? And if I have the plans done ahead of time, if I have the suggestions, and it might help if you created like an anxiety list and then write out all the things you can do when you start to feel anxious and in what scenarios. So if you have the scenario laid out, then when that scenario occurs, you're more likely to be able to go to your list, remember that you have a list, all of that, and try something on the list. All right, so that is the end of this video. I did 2 monthly spreads, both with kits from Jojo.Apple.Prints. I highly encourage you to check out Jojo.Apple.Prints. She has a great frequent user plan. I do not PR for her. But I have really gotten to know her a little bit through particularly her Facebook group and her Instagram. She's a teacher. She's delightful. She tends to stay up late, and I just really highly encourage you to check out her stickers. That's all of her original art, and look how cute these spreads are. Look at this little farm, apple farm. Look at this camping spread. I'm in love. So thank you for listening to me ramble on in a kind of chaotic fashion about anxiety. I'm really sorry for what ended up getting lost in the video. I don't know why it turned off. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, I highly encourage you to click that subscribe button. I drop videos once a week, usually on Mondays, and I do planning videos. I review a lot of Silk and Sonder, and then I take requests. So if you ever need anything, want to see something, let me know. All right. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic week.